Good afternoon, folks. Nice to meet you all again. I hope you are rested. I hope you've had a lovely lunch. And I hope you're raring to hear our next speaker for the day. And while we get started, let me start with an introduction. The topic for the day is extremely exciting. We have crafting a new model of design education in India as our topic. And who better than Dr. Soumyat Ghoshal, the Dean of D School of Jain University, with us for this afternoon session. He began his career in 1986 with India's premier design institute, the National Institute of Design, we all know it as NID, and was instrumental in setting up the institute in Bangalore as well in the year 2002, and which became completely operational with 4 PG programs from the mid-2007. Apart from being a member of the Faculty of Industrial Design at NID, Dr. Ghoshal has headed a couple of major administrative positions as the Vice Chairman Training and Chairman Outreach Programs at NID. And during 2000 to 2008, he was also a member of NID's Policy Planning Committee. Prior to joining the D School at Jain, which is deemed to be the university, during November 2015 to April 2018, he was the director of the School of Design Studies at UPES, Dehradun. He's the only design educator in India who comes with an experience of being directly associated with the maximum number of institutions building efforts in India in the field of design. The Crafts Development Institute in Srinagar, the Bamboo and Cane Development Institute and its Regional Design and Technical Development Institute in Agartala, the Regional Design and Training Development Center, Ministry of Textiles in Bangalore, and NID's R&D campus that I told you earlier about. Dr. Ghoshal is not new to industry. He has spearheaded several industry engagements. He's headed over 30 institutional consultancy projects in the domains of industrial design and ergonomics with clients that include the Ministry of Defense, Indian Railways, Space Applications, HAL, NAL, ARDC, CCAD, the Indian Navy, machine tool sector, electronics industry, Atria, ITMA, BEL, and many more. During 2008 to 2011, Dr. Ghoshal was a member of the Advisory Council of the top management of LG Electronics India Limited, and he's traveled widely, well recognized in different universities of the world, OCAD University in Toronto, Canada, and he holds a large number of fellowships from the British Council, the WHO, ICSIDS, governments of Sweden, Thailand, Japan. So ask him where he's not been. He's represented NID in various academic engagements, conferences, and training programs in the US, Hungary, UK, Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Sweden, and Canada. We welcome you from our heart, sir, for a very engaging and a very outreach session for the youth who are eagerly looking forward to hear from you. And I'm sure that this session is going to rock you. While you enjoy it, ensure that you keep your questions rolling. We would like to take the questions as soon as we finish with Dr. Ghoshal. And please make this interactive and enjoy the show. Thank you. And over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sunil. Thank you very much. Before the moment I start, let me tell you whether the session rocks me or not, I'm going to rock the session.
Thank you so much.
So how do I go to, I'll straight away, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I straight away start bang on. So I will take you through a presentation. Design education in India took a turn around 2002, 3, 4, around that time. And I personally believe that it requires another turn now. Because traditional models of design pedagogy and design teaching, about 30% of that are no longer valid. Now, let me take you through this, what we have been trying to do at the Jain University. And did you notice one thing? The D here is for disruption. And in the very beginning, all of you who are attending, please remember that there is something before design, which is creative imagineering. You need to imagine, it is beyond imagination, because imagination does not necessarily come with, how to do it. Imagination is just an imagination. Imagineering is you should also know how to do that. How will that work? So let me start straight away. That's what Sunil was talking about. That's where I come from. Now let's look at the changing scenario in the business domain context and some examples if I take. Bluetooth connectivity, manufacturing technology, and online retail producing newer products and services. Software and AI generated solutions of even construction, forms, shapes are already in place, including requisite analysis. I don't know how many of you know that there are a couple of architectural firms. Their entire imagination is theirs, but architecturing the building or the concept from structure to heat flow analysis of the entire structure of the building, villa, whatever hut meant, is being done on software platforms. 3D data of structures, including human tissues and body parts, generating demands and possibilities of different kinds of product system, processes, and services. Maintenance of service support and do it yourself, opening up huge possibilities. Development of material and their application in textiles, natural materials, and interiors, yielding high opportunities for design platforms for communicating the experiential aspirations to prospective customers. What I mean is, as you go on seeing that retailing is going towards online, how do I give the physical feel to the prospective customer? This is a huge domain coming up. Huge possibilities in converting accumulated knowledge for creation of new markets. For example, those who have been in the furniture world, textile world, traditional manufacturing technologies. If you count the number of people who are sitting with a huge amount of tacit knowledge, how to bring that out into another format? Now let's see what happened in product forms. Now, the product form meaning the kinds of products that you see on your office, furniture, kitchen, all kinds of products. If you look at the previous, it was intuition and creativity based. It was based on hand skill. For example, the vessel in which they prepare rice in West Bengal, the entire thing is hand done. And previously, all forms were engineering science driven. Can it take that much of temperature? Can it burst out? Will it break if it falls? Now, emerging scenario is, it is strategy and creativity driven. Let me give you an example. Even 2 years back, you did not see so many wow kinds of water bottles in the shopping malls. Even 2 years back, you could not imagine that there could be a green color frying pan. So it's a strategy driven. What is strategy? Can the kitchen become colorful, exciting, loving to work in? Forms now are forming technology and material based. You ask for any form, they will give you. Previously, what was engineering science driven, now it is manufacturing technology driven. You ask for any form, they will give you. Let's see what is happening to color. Previous, it was obvious and driven by grammar. Now, for example, in the kitchen, you could only see stainless steel colors aluminum colors and black colors. It could be a little bit of red and white dishes and saucers and things like that. It was application process driven, is that can this design in ceramics be done in this temperature, or to retain this drawing while designing a dish saucer, what kind of kiln that I should be using? And it was driven by interest. Emerging sectors, it is unthinkable color. For example, one of my student, Dutiman Maulik, he has designed a kitchen gas stove for TTK Prestige, and the color is pinkish gold. It is looking fabulous, for which he has been given a Red Dot Award, which is international. Now, color is driven by generation possibilities. You ask for any kind of color, any hue, chroma value, they will give you. It is driven by aspiration and by technology. Let's look at this, what happened in the material sector. Previously, it was driven by physics, chemistry, and metallurgy. Now it is driven by technological possibilities. In previous, it was usage and material characteristics and properties by engineering calculation. Now it is calculated, answered by the software. Now, innovation models have been changing. Previously, it was intuitive. Probably this kind of incremental innovation will work. Now, it is a strategic and paradigm shift, and it is more focused towards not problem solving, it is opportunity finding. Now, let's see what's happening in the interface and interaction in the entire domain. We were the people who started with user and software interface. Interface meaning one product, one person interacting with one screen or one switch, bulb, light, etc. Now it is a matter of connected experience in the paradigm of AI, ML, IoT, and sensor technologies. Now, this is quite an audacious statement. Tell me one product which is yet to be designed. You look at your kitchen, office systems, sound systems, lighting systems, furniture systems. Everywhere you look around, you look for four-wheelers, super bikes, super cars. How many variants of cycles and scooters and bikes, whatnots that you have? So next is the only way to survive will be to innovate and drive. Now, let me take you through the changes anticipated to come in the next 10 years. This is from the Economic Times dated December 29th last year. What they talk about is that universal translators are coming, robots are coming, climate change. Just give me 1 second. Climate interventions, cleaning the air is coming. Pedagogy gets a reboot because people are slowly going for personalized learning. 5G and beyond. In 5G, what they're talking about is if you think of any product which can be connected, can be connected. 3D printing is coming in a huge way now. Digital money, cashless. We are talking about clean water. We are talking about quantum computing. We are talking about singularity, hypersonics, nanotechnology, gene editing, energy storage, artificial creativity, wills of the future. Those people who had designed and developed wills, we respect them. We thank them for coming up to this level, wherever we are globally in terms of technology, business, economy, society, whatever. Suddenly people woke up and discovered that why do you need wills? What is the purpose of wills? Is to go from place A to place B. Now, if you look at this from the reverse direction, to go from place A to place B, do we need only wills? No, there could be other ways. The way animal moves, the way a spider moves, the way lizard moves. Okay. Cyborgs and robotic soldiers are coming. Here we are talking about meat alternatives are coming in a big way. It's a global phenomenon now. New skies. By the way, when I'm talking about these, I'm also talking about the latest pandemonium that is going on and the kind of forecast research studies that has been happening around. I'm sitting with India Report, BCG Boston Consulting Group, Howden, Deloitte. Left-hand side bottom, you can see Board of Innovators. I'm sitting with KPMG Report, and I'm trying to be as contemporary and future-looking as possible. I'll skip this one. Now, as I told you, creative imagineering precedes design. And design will, in the future, will facilitate and enable positive disruption. Now, let me take you through some of my own hypotheses and forecast of what kind of disruption that I'm talking about. AI will soon come in the kitchen. AI will be used in injury prevention on the road more than the driverless cars. I don't think driverless cars are going to be of any use. AI will be used in accident prevention. The concept of television as a rectangle is going to change. It will become a part of your digital wall, and the TV viewing experience will change. Please understand, what do I mean by TV viewing is that you want to see a film. When you are watching the film, you are with them. You are into that space. So why do you need a rectangle? It's called television. Anyway, connected experience will influence the way you work. Digital library will be replaced by the physical ones. Look at this. The amount of water that we use in the sheet pots, it's a humongous amount of water. Every flush, on an average, 5 liters goes down. My personal forecast is compressed air cleaning is coming. Did you ever notice how many high-rise buildings that we have? Very high-rise. People have been talking about 40-story building in Calcutta now. How much of water is coming down from the top to bottom every day? It will soon be used to generate energy. The refrigerators are basically rectangular cuboid. It will evolve as the food storage system based on refrigeration technology, and you will see which will come with expandable or changeable modularity. Screens of televisions, computers, and mobile handsets will become intelligent according to users' visual visibility requirements, because your set is only used by you. The screen can be personalized to your focal length of the eye or any visual acuity. Firecrackers, huge debate, pollution. My personal focus is slowly laser and holography will replace firecrackers. To respond to the above, the D-School offering, which we have started mid-19, just the last year, with modest 20 boys and girls in both bachelor's and MDisk programs. I'm happy to share that this time, the number of applicants had jumped up to more than 450. I will just take you through the 10 unique selling propositions of our school. I call it India's most contemporary, comprehensive, and unique pedagogical method in design education. Let me take you through why. We give a 6-week orientation program because, please understand, teaching design, learning design is okay. But where is that place where your design is going to work? So you need to understand the business of design. What does it do? The context of design. Where is this going to work? And you are not designing for yourself. You are designing for them. Now, up till reaching them, You can't do everything on your hand. You need to know the people who will realize your design, who are the stakeholders in design. You need to mix with them. You need to talk their language. You need to understand their language. So this gives a holistic framework of what exactly I'm going to do with my learning. Well, here we have taken a stand that our focus is going to be from function to purpose. Because I tell people, showing the handle of a door, I ask them what it is. They say, sir, it's a door handle. To do what? To push or pull? To achieve what? To go in and come out? Now think of it exactly the reverse way. To go in and come out, do you need a handle? Don't need. So our focus is going to be function to purpose, nice and interesting too, aspirational and experiential. Problem solving. About 98% people believe that the definition of design is problem solving. Now the question is, whose problem are you solving? My wife makes beautiful circular roti. I don't know. That is a very huge problem for me. But if you teach me how to make proper circular roti, what will I do with that? Design is an activity for problem solving, but it's majorly opportunity finding. So many people confuse between invention, innovation, and design. No, invention is an idea. And innovation is to take that idea into a workable proposition. Design is the mid portion. And we have taken a stand that creative imagineering is the precursor to design. Now, this is our format. First 2 semesters is a common foundation program. Third semester is kind of preparing them for specialization. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me take your attention here, slightly important. Here, if you look at, I started with form studies, which is emotional design or bio-inspired design. Then packaging design. Then if you look at this systems where my cursor is, system or services, this thing follows through up till the 8th semester. Because I am of the opinion that I think for at least some time, 3-dimensional products, unless and until it's a different kind of a product, because I can teach a person how to make how to design a fantastic microwave oven. What will you do after 4 years with that teaching? It's not going to work. If I can teach you how to design furniture systems, what will you do after 4 years? All kinds of furnitures are available. So what we have done but at the same time, if somebody wants to work on physical objects, you will see that is also there. DP3, DP4, DP5 and 6, physical objects and digital interfaces, physical, digital, system, services. And what we have done is, remember these, whatever I told you, and we have integrated exposure to 12 industries to all our students from semester 1 itself up till the semester 7. So on the left-hand side, as you move on, you'll be exposed to 12 industries. On the right-hand side, from the 4th semester, you will have to pick on projects, whereby you will have to do, in our program, you will have to do 9 projects under our bachelor's programs and 5 projects under our master's program. So it's a best model of co-creation, because on the 4th semester, if you go back to some industry saying that, sir, last time when I came, I saw something very interesting. Can I take this as a project? They will surely not say no, because they already know you. So We are co-creating job opportunities rather looking for job opportunities, because you are moving ahead with the industry. And in the final year, one has to do a final project sitting at the industry. So learning from experiences, what I have seen is, I sort of envisage that there is going to be, on an average, 3 offers per candidate, because you have already made friends with those industries. You have already made friends to that industry where you did your final project. And of course, they are competitors. So, and by the way, all this cost towards industry exposure is built in the academic program. Now I'm going to show something interesting. There are 3 kinds of creative people, all random sampled: those who are excellent in skills, those who are excellent in conceptual ideas, what a brilliant idea. And one group of people wants to work on a research-driven format. For example, why, let's say, waste management system is not happening properly. What is the problem of, managing drinking water? So what we have done is, based on the kinds of projects that the student chooses, which I have shown you in the previous slide, he or she can pursue either a single track or a mix and match of the above. Look at the kind of portfolio that he or she will generate at the end of the entire academic tenure. USP number 3 is that enabling the students to take up strategic solutions for multiple domains rather than doing many explorations in limited domains. So in our bachelor program, all of them will have to do 9 full circle projects, and in the masters, they will have to do 5. Everywhere else, it is 5 projects in bachelors, 3 projects in masters. I again repeat, in bachelors, for us, it's 9 projects, and for masters, it's 5 full circle projects. Now, I have seen generally a designer who is an excellent thinker and creative or skill, they can't write. Now, it's not a question of writing. It's a question of, you have designed something great, but if you can't communicate it properly in all forms or any single form, then you are half cooked. So portfolio preparation and presentation and communication skills, I have made it credited courses, taking the students through a formal process of strategic and effective communication. Our students are, I'm the only design institute in India who is under pressure from the industry. So they will be plugged in all kinds of, new product developments through it could be real life client projects, which are industry or institutional consultancy or outreach kind of projects. From the day one of the specialization, we have already started our outreach activities. Outreach is basically taking our design expertise at the social level for social impact, entrepreneurship development, but the takers could be corporates. For example, on your left-hand side, you see some natural material which you have received from Calcutta. On the right-hand side, we have already orders from a PSU, public sector undertaking, which is Bharat Art Movers Limited. Here comes our students' role. We will connect them up and let them get into business, but we get the experience and knowledge. We have already started our institutional industrial consulting. This is an intelligent spraying machine for one of the startups in Indian Institute of Science. Full circle, full product development and prototype making happens with us. Inculcating a holistic understanding and knowledge synthesis, a balanced mix of theory, skill, knowledge assimilation through research and projects. As I told you, I have introduced 2 colloquium papers. It's a thought paper which one has to write, which has got many major implications. For example, if you write 2 concept papers, and if these are very good, mentored by the faculty members and teachers, who knows, it can go for an international publication. 1. 2, It can come as a publication, which is our institutional publication. 3, suppose you bump into somebody and he asks you, can you give me a written document so that I can read it in my flight or by car or something like that? He or she can easily flash that concept paper. So equipping the students with the skills and process of how to think, synthesize, putting their thoughts together in communicative writing and expression for gaining competitive advantage. Our strategy is going to be see more, ask more, know more, learn more. Series of industry exposure, which is looking at participatory learning and rapid synthesis of knowledge and industry expertise. What we did was, second semester, Amazon came to us to share their best practices. From semester 1 itself, we took them to Wipro 3D printing. Wipro is one of the companies, but 3D printing technology. So what happened is, they have touched the material, they have seen the process, they have seen the machine working, they have asked relevant questions to them only. It is not understanding, trying to understand from the book or through a Google Drive, Google search, or a YouTube movie or things like that. Touch, feel, know more, ask more. So in this case, not only they have touched the raw material, they have touched the material which is ready for dispatch to Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. They have also seen their experimental work, and they will ask, sir, where can we apply this? Where we cannot apply this? How to use this? They were there for 4 hours. Then we took them to a group of people who works on 1,000 varieties of stones. This gentleman himself is an IIT graduate from Kharagpur in metallurgy, but he loves stone. So what happened was, they were there, they touched stones, they asked questions, they have seen a stone ball floating on water, they have seen their experimental work, they have asked, sir, what is a soft stone, what is a hard stone, how to cut this stone, how to put a drill on this, where can we use this, can we bring transparency, translucency, etc., etc. So look at the amount of, knowledge accumulation that they have done. Now, we had taken them to a group of people who are official vendors and suppliers for the DuPont in US, in Bangalore. So this material is called Corian. These are the industry's own experimentations, that what kind of, grouting, digital sketching is possible. And over there, they have seen on your right-hand side bottom, they have touched the material, they have felt it. In the middle slide, all the black, dark chocolate color, red color, orange color, yellow color, white color that you see, these are glued, not stuck. This is the unique characteristic and property of this material, that, once you join 2 pieces with certain processes, if you take the material through some processes, you will realize that this is 2 pieces stuck together. On the left-hand side top, they have seen the machine working. On the left-hand side bottom, you can see they themselves are explaining what kind of experimentation they have done to our students. So our focus is going to be on creative Imagineering. Of course, we will teach everything, but the focus will be there through and through being with the industry, through the process of opportunity finding, effective strategic innovations, and design thinking-led research for insight generation as a complementary to learning by doing. And by the way, this is going to end, I'm going to end within a minute or 1.5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those who are attending or listening or participating, please understand, teaching design, learning design is only 50%. Remaining 50% is you need to understand how to talk to the industry, how to get the briefing, what will work, what will not work, what is enough, what is not enough. So it is kind of a priming thing that we have been doing, which is sort of stitched within the academic program altogether. As a complementary to learning by doing, of course, you will do also flawless and robust evaluation and feedback system through open jury, where we see conceptual clarity, skills and details, originality of design, thinking and approach, ability to communicate, and time management, of course. Thus, to respond to the emerging needs of the industry and economy, and to nurture the creative professionals of the future, the D School offers a transdisciplinary and flexible approach towards teaching learning with a built-in system in the curriculum. Thank you very much.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for those insights and how you believe that design, imagineering is the future, and how it's changing the whole landscape from a perspective of design to realization. I think that was a very interesting perspective that you brought out. And I hope we don't have to go and sit in flying cars that use their own brains and use their own logic to transport us from place A to place B. As we look forward to questions from the youth, I'm sure that they have plenty of things to ask, because this is a topic that's very close to many a young heart. And as we ask those questions, I would like to bring up a few from our side. So you were saying that you are very closely working with industry and ensuring that a large amount of exposure your students get is inbuilt from a perspective of design thinking at industrial level itself. And that's a very heartening thing to know, especially when we are at times like this, where skill and knowledge, I think, has to be more practical. So what is your opinion? I mean, because learning itself is shifting 360-degree today.
Yes.
With the kind of situations that we're facing. So how do you think your unique approach is making a difference to the life of our young designers?
Fantastic, fantastic. I'll tell you a very unique, very interesting story which had happened with me. At a point of time, I wanted to learn the material in the domain of plastics.
Right.
So I went to an industry. I said, Jivan, can you help me? Because you work in acrylic and you must have a couple of friends who works in all series of plastics which we generally use.
Right.
So Jivan told me, Dr. Ghoshal, can you come back after 3 days? I said, okay, I'll come back. Then Jivan showed me about 10 containers, starting from toothpaste to PET bottles to frisbees that we play with.
Right.
Then he told me, this is called this plastic, these are the characteristics, and this is called this plastic, these are characteristics. I myself did not know that a frisbee has got 3 kinds of plastics fused and molded. So my 2 hours of interaction with him, I now reasonably know where to apply what kind of plastics.
So what is the, with the changing dimensions of today, what is the approach that you're taking as a university and as a course to actually deliver design thinking and design learning? Because, you know, classrooms are no more reality to many of your students. So
yeah.
How is it that you're approaching?
There are two dimensions of it. This question is that to all of you, well, yes, at a point of time, which is about 20 years back, there was this necessity of exploring various typography. Got my point? But now, I think we don't have time to explore on typography. The other day I was explaining somebody that I think if somebody wants to know what is graphic design, I will start off with, don't take it otherwise, 5 packets of Davidoff and 5 versions of Marlboro and 5 designs of, let's say, Dunhill packets. My graphic design teaching will start from there. Why this color combination? What does that color combination do? So I think on one hand, we have time crunch. On the other hand, there are too many things happening in the world. So I think exposure is the only thing, and ensuring that why it has been used like that in that product. I can't call it a reverse teaching, but I think it's more of connected, teaching and ensuring that they have sort of bitten into that matter.
Right. Okay. So what are the upcoming areas, or I would call specialization in design, that is getting a large amount of traction during these days?
Okay.
And where do you think our youth should be looking at careers from a perspective of both
Excellent,
design and industry?
excellent query. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please understand, for a reasonably long period of time, we, the design educators, have made a great mistake. I have the audacity to tell you, because we heard something called visual communication, and that was going on for a number of years. Why? With your touch thumb, you don't do any communication. With these ears, you don't do any communication. With your body sensing, you don't do any communication. So what I have done is, I have made it communications and media design. Consistently, people have drawn symbols and book layouts and graphics and everything, but without 2 things.
Right.
One is, what is the purpose for which you are doing that? Communicating something to somebody else. And you did not ask a very important question, is that on which media my graphics is going to be used? Is it print media, telecast, broadcast, digital, which format? So what I have done is, the overall umbrella of this bachelor specialization, we have called it communications and media. Under communication, there are only 2 things, graphics and UI UX. Now, let me spend a couple of seconds on these graphics. We don't ask some fundamental question. Let me come back to you. There are only 4 forms of communication. 1, 2D graphics, 3D graphics, capturing natural movements. And when the 2D and 3D starts moving, it's called animation. Very simple. Very simple. And now let me take you one thing. You go to a cutlery section of a shopping mall. You fall in love with a beautiful teacup. What has hit you? Or a beautiful frying pan. What has hit you is the 3D graphics. You have fallen in love with a beautiful package, a beautiful packaging of Rasgulla Rasmalai. What actually has hit you is the 3D graphics. So what we have done is, under this graphic domain, if people want to do 2D, please go ahead. If you want to do 3D, please go ahead. If you want to move the graphics, please go ahead, called animation. You got my point? Similarly, we have not asked one fundamental question. For a large number of, decades after decades after decades, we have talked about product design and furniture design. Why a piece of chair is not a product? A piece of a table, isn't it a product? So what we have done is, we have made, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you look around, you will see only 2 things. 1, product and space. That's it. If you talk about 3-dimensional things, you will only see product and spaces. So what I have done is, the other specialization is industrial design. Under industrial design, I have made only product design and retail and interior space design, not interior design. Retail and interior space design. There's a fundamental difference between interior design and space design. You want to manage and use space. Why are you only blocked with interior elements? There could be some other ways to use that space and manage that space.
Right.
So I hope
you've still not answered my question. So where should the youth be looking at opportunities from a perspective of jobs?
Well,
especially in design.
Now there are huge opportunities coming up in retail and interior spaces. Right. There are huge opportunities coming up in the infrastructure sector. For example, furniture, products and elements for metro station, railway station, right. Artificial intelligence enabled product for large buildings, right. Right. People's mobility, right. Patient mobility, emergency care, sure. Eco and sustainability. That's a huge domain opening up. Health sector is opening up in a big, big way. Because for the last couple of 5-6 years, we have been talking about bringing the home care to home, patient care to home. It was not happening. But the other thing was happening, making smaller X-ray machines and ultrasound machine to take that in remote part of the city or country. There is a reverse trend coming up now. So there are a lot of product opportunities. In the graphics, I think digital graphics will come in a big, big way. Sure. Digital graphics, including digital 3D graphics, holographics, usage of holographics and laser. The other day I was and the other domain is coming up is under the name of infrastructure. You know, if you get into any big gated communities or IT parks, you will see three-dimensional art sculptures in various road crossings and things like that. Those are going to be dynamic and intelligent. They are going to be AI enabled. They are going to be used as routers. Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please remember, please try to look at each and everything from a different perspective altogether. There are everywhere, there are new opportunities.
Sure. I have a very interesting question from Major General Raj Mehta. And he asks, can a human mind talk to another human mind? In the Swedish countries, they are looking at 6G, and this is going to be one of the attributes of 6G. And is it practical, and what will be the medium?
Can I answer this? This is very, this question is very, very, very close to my heart. And before answering this question, I have to tell you this, that what none of you could think of. My original background is physiology. And during that time, what I learned is that a human body is the best product that can ever exist in the world. Major General Mehta, it is possible, because I had to write answer to a question. I mean, how does the human brain work? We emit certain signals, alpha, beta, theta, gamma, and these are called electroencephalography, encephalography. So my own pet area has been, if the pattern of one's EEG closely matches with the other's pattern of the EEG. And this actually happens Because when you are thinking of something and somebody very close to you who knows you very well, he or she tells you exactly the same thing. And I think it is possible because it's only a question of if encryptography can work, if Sunil's number can be reached only through that number from anywhere in the world, I'm also unique, like my mobile number.
Sure.
Sunil is also unique as to Sunil's mobile number. So I think if I can give a call to Sunil, I think it is possible. I mean, I don't know when, how, but I'll personally be interested to work on. And this is the way, I mean, Chris Gopalakrishnan, he has sponsored this research in Indian Institute of Science. How does the human brain work? And can the computational systems mimic that?
Right. I have another very interesting question that's come up from the youth. And there's this curious person who wants to ask us, do you think India can come up with a competition for a world-class company like IKEA?
Like?
IKEA, I-K-E-A.
I think it is 100% possible. Right. It's not 99. It's only the question of mindset. You know, I am close to IMTMA, Indian Machine Tool Manufacturers Association. So one day I was coming out of a meeting and that time IMTEX was going on. They told me that, Ghoshal, you know the design of Indian machines on the way out. Why don't you have a look at this company's machines called DMG Moriseki? Now, DMG Moriseki, DMG is a German group and Moriseki is a Japanese group. So I went to see that machine. Wow, a CNC machine looks like a, you know, a multiplied form of a beautiful looking toaster. Okay. What a finish of steel, usage of acrylic and things like that. So I went back. I told them that, my dear friends, you can also do that, provided you think you can. Because in India, I'll tell you, we start off with, let me tell you, first of all, we have never taught what is the concept of quality. From our preparatory schools till a PhD level, we don't talk about the concept of quality. Number one. Number two, we have been brought up by saying that you can't do. We have never been told that, beta, believe in yourself. If you can do. And our beginning starts with, I don't think this is possible. I'm telling you all through my, now, you know, when I say that I'm the only person who has done 30, I'm the only design educator who has done 37 products. I'm not self-trumpeting. I'm self-trumpeting somewhere else. Is that the kind of learning that I have learned out of those failures? Last year, I have failed in giving a cover to an LED signal. I thought this will happen like this. It did not work. I had to pay 15,000 rupees from my own pocket to cover up that mistake. But now I can give a consultancy to how to use LED strips. So failure is extremely important for your learning. So I don't know whether to what extent it answers your question.
Yeah, I think it does. I think the person who asked that question definitely would have got an answer, because I think innovation is not something that we Indians are shy of. It's just that it's not in our culture to say that we can
absolutely,
do something.
Absolutely.
And as you rightly said, I think that's the belief with which we need to move forward.
Absolutely.
To be able to crack that puzzle.
Absolutely.
I have another question, and again, an interesting question. Any words of wisdom for students graduating during this pandemic?
Come again, come again.
Any words of wisdom for students graduating during this pandemic?
Graduating during this pandemic. Well, I can only say that, we have not been trained as to how to think differently and how to come up with an innovation. We only know how to redecorate it. So my honest suggestion is going to be, first of all, relax. Second, try to shift your focus from function to purpose. Because when we all start talking about anything and everything, we generally hover around function. Can I use this material to be plugged over there? No. Shift your focus from function to purpose. What do we want to achieve? So I think this also gives us an opportunity to think of what else could be possible. And design graduate, they are basically taught how to think differently, how to look at things differently, how to make it possible, and how to communicate. Design is not only drawing or scratching a piece of wood. Design is also how to think.
Right.
And what to think.
Sure.
That is also design.
Sure. Okay, one more question, I guess.
Please.
And I would still keep the forum open to more questions if there are any from our youth. I'm sure that you have more questions. This was a completely futuristic session. So please feel free to shoot out more questions. We have 3 minutes before we wrap this, but I'm always open to taking a last few. There's another question. I think it got inspired by one of your slides that actually spoke about the humanistic robots that are going to come in the future. And the question is, you mentioned about steel soldiers replacing human soldiers. I hope you're serious.
Yeah. No, this is coming. What is happening is they suddenly woke up and discovered that they are spending some 30 crores per day or something. Do you know this story? In Siachen border, to maintain this workforce and giving food supplies and everything, the government of India expenditure is 30 crores per day. So suddenly they woke up and they discovered that what happens if a soldier dies? What are the direct costs, indirect costs? What happens to the family? It is not that one soldier dies and thereafter many soldiers are dying. And so it's not steel soldiers, but it's robotic soldiers. And for example, and this is true because I consult with Bharat Art Movers Limited, whose one of the major domain is defense and aerospace. And over there, we are going in a big way. So this is not and by the way, for all of you, this is not my reporting. This is the reporting from Economic Times. And by the way, I'll just take a couple of seconds, thinking of impact. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please also take this as I told you what to think and how to think. Did you ever think of the fact that the cost of deaths on road accidents in a year in India is equivalent to every day is jumbo jet is crashing? The number of people who dies on road accidents in a year and the total costs related to that is equal to one jumbo jet crashing with all passengers every day. It is, I told you this because our dimension of thinking has to become much, 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 much larger. It is not only observing things, it is not only looking at things, seeing at things, and capturing some photographs and so-called information collection, so-called research. I mean, apart from that, you need to be in a position to think much, 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 much larger.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ghoshal. I think it was a fantastic analogy of many things and how design is shaping our lives. It was going to shape our lives further.
Good.
But before we sign off, I think I've got one more last minute question that's crept in, and I think it only just does justice to answer this.
Please.
Tesla has already come up with self-driven cars. Don't you think such automated innovations are going to result in humans going lazy?
You are again talking about function. I would request the gentleman or the lady or the boy or the girl who has asked the question, please follow my mantra. Shift your focus from function to purpose. Please don't think I'm beating around the bush. Well, self-driven car. But think of it. I don't think self-driven car is going to come. I do not think. Personally, from the background of human factors engineering, somebody is doing an experimentation, that's good. But however, I like that Elon Musk's space calculation of mathematics. If the Voyager goes every day and comes back, then the cost of space travel is going to come down. Well, he has designed a self-driven car. So many people have been experimenting upon, they're doing some. But number one, when you told that life will become easy, no. What else will we do? Number one. Number two, think over it. Somebody gave you self-driven car and you stopped there. No. Do some trumpeting around. Is it going to work? Is it going to work in Malleshwaram in Bangalore? Is it going to work in the inside gullies of Indore? Where will it work? So it's not a question of, don't look at, automatic cars. Look at what exactly is therein. Therein is auto finding of path, auto finding of navigation. So pick that up. Don't pick up that driverless cars and stop there.
Right. So thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you very, very much.
It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you.
Thank you very much to Skillablers and EDC Technologies for giving me this platform. And thanks to all of you who have patiently heard me for the last 1 hour. Thank you and all the very best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ghoshal.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye.